My dear fellow listeners and viewers, today I would like to give you some job hunting tips when it comes to resume. Of course, many of you know what a resume is. Many of you have several resumes and so forth, but yet you're having difficulties, getting called for an interview. You're having difficulties, for anybody to reach out to you to kind of offer you any kind of, job positions and all of that. So here's what I'm recommending. If you have a resume and you're using that resume to apply for jobs and you find that nobody's calling you, you want to really rethink some of the pieces you have on that resume. For example, you want to question yourself, you know, do you have enough on there, right? Or do you have too much? Some cases, too much can be a disadvantage as well, too. If making a resume is not your expertise, it probably sounds stupid. But if it's not your area of expertise, it is probably wise for you to talk to somebody who knows how to put together a really good resume. Personally, for me, I don't invest a lot on resume. That's my opinion because in these, in this modernized world, networking really helps, and I have strong connection in the community. As a professional job developer, I'm very much connected, and I've had, the opportunity to meet with, thousands of employers. I've helped, thousands of people find meaningful work and so on. Having said that, though, there are still a few people or organizations who are very old-fashioned, and they will kind of follow that resume. So they wouldn't be too much keen of the skills and qualification and experience you have. They are going to look at that resume. They will make sure that resume is perfect. Make sure that you start off nicely. Make sure you have an objective. Make sure you have a summary, of what you have. Some of them, preferred you to list your education first. Some of them preferred, your work experience and all that. So in one sense, depending where you're applying, it is worth investing on a resume as well too. As long as you know that the organization does look at the resume, and so that's where you want to spend your time. And so if you don't know anything about resume, you definitely want to reach out to an employment advisor or professional job, employment advisor. By the way, I will recommend maybe visit a service provider funded by the government and so on. If you qualify, you can access that service, or you can pay and do private ones too. But get somebody to look at that resume for you. It could be a simple thing. It could be a simple rewording, rephrasing. All of that can make a difference of you getting a call for an interview. And if you're really good at in doing interviews, you wouldn't have any problem to kind of sell yourself, sell your skills, show them what you got, and all of that. And so I just thought I shared that little tip. But though I pay little attention to resume, it is still worth it, especially for you, for those of you who are very, keen to kind of to send in resume and all of that. If you're going to do that, you want to make sure you hand in something good and you want it to stand out. These days, some organization, not all organization, they use, electronic software and whatnot to kind of pick up resumes. So sometimes, not all the time, sometimes keywording and so on is important. The system is set up that way. So the bottom line is you will have to put some effort. You will have to put some effort to make sure that you are giving them what they want, so that at the end of it all, you will benefit from it. We wouldn't always agree with their, their procedure and standard and so on, but it is what it is in some cases. Some people do the old-fashioned way, where they're going to read and go through the resume one by one, make notes and all of that. Then they are going to call you for an interview. But also, having said all of this, I should remind you though that 80% of the employers do not offer advertise any sort of job position too. So keep that in mind. But you still have a small portion that look out for resume and things of that kind. In fact, very recently, an employer called me and asked me if I know of anybody for a specific opening. And so, and they, because they know who I am, we have done business together and all of that. So all of that you want to keep in mind. But if you are a resume type of person, you want to make sure you have a good looking resume. You want to make sure that, there's no error in there. you're very specific. You're giving them exactly what they want. If they're asking for 5 years of experience, you want to make sure you have that in there if you have it, and so forth. All right. So I hope that this tip is, is a little bit helpful. You've probably heard all of this. Is a simple tip, but I always believe that the simplest thing in life, is usually most important. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Narine Dat Sookram. Wishing you a great today and even a better tomorrow. I'll talk to you soon.